Hello guys, in this opportunity I will be talking about two common problems that we may face when designing equivalence trial or non-inferiority trials. This is assay sensitivity and constancy assumption. In regards to assay sensitivity, it is the notion that a trial should distinguish between a treatment that is effective and a treatment that is less effective. Any type of trial can run into this kind of problem. However, it's particularly common in trials of non-inferiority or equivalence trial because we're pretty much making an assumption of whether the active control that we're comparing this new treatment to was effective to placebo. And we're pretty much attributing this power to historical evidence of studies that were already conducted, randomized clinical trial between this active control and the placebo. And it's really an indirect comparison of the new treatment that we're evaluating against the placebo. So in the case that, for example, this trial that we're conducting doesn't find a significant statistical difference between this new intervention and the active control, then whether in case that there was, maybe we're doing a false claim of non-inferiority. And by doing this false claim of non-inferiority, we're also pretty much accepting that the placebo could be, equally effective, meaning that this new intervention could be equally effective to placebo or not better than the active control. A way to contrast this problem is including the placebo in this trial. However, it may not be ethical in all situations to expose patients to a placebo when there's already a standard treatment available. A second problem is the constancy assumption. This assumption is based on the comparison between the active control and the placebo. And it pretty much tells us that the active control was already proven to be superior to placebo and that it should be constant in this new comparison that we're doing with this new intervention. So in many cases, maybe antibiotic, for example, can become resistant with time, or maybe there could be a new medical practice that was developed afterwards. So we have to make sure that when we're comparing this new intervention that we want to investigate with an active control, that the constancy assumption is checked out, meaning that the power of this or the effectiveness of a control, it is still consistent over time. There is also a way to contrast this, which is by including the placebo into the third arm of the study, but it's not always ethical, as I already explained. Also, one of the ways that we can contrast this is by making sure that the new study duplicates perfectly the methodology of the superiority trial that was already conducted between the active control now and the placebo. This would include, duplicating the inclusion and exclusion criteria, so the population could be very similar. Also, using the same randomization techniques, making sure that we're testing and looking for the same treatment or outcome, and that the measurements also are equal. Thank you so much for your time, guys. This was based on our dear professor's book, Critical Thinking in Clinical Research. Have a good day.